Hi, I'm Noor, and this is Simplify Homeschool. So, to combine and simplify multiple subjects, I begin with a history curriculum. And in my case, I use Story of the World, which I do have to substitute, but for the most part, it's a good curriculum, and I begin with that. Coming back to this, so I start with history as the central theme, and I add in more activities which will kind of help me achieve my geography goals. So I will spend more time on the landmarks of the place, and I will do map work every single day. I will do additional maps. I will do additional talk about the geography of the place. Plus, I will tie in with in context with where we live. So it's very important that kids understand where we are and what we're talking. Like sometimes we don't really give the context, and they don't really have a reference point from where they can begin. So anytime we talk about any place, I start with the place where we live, and then I go to the place. If it's another state, then I will make him trace with his finger that we are going to another state. Or if it's another country, then now do it on the globe, do it on the map, do it in several ways, so that it just puts things in context. Like this with respect to where we live, this is where this place is, or that is where that place is. It really helps. So apart from the geography, I do the picture books. Now really picture books or whatever additional books that I can supplement a topic with, I do that. Now I want them to be critical thinkers. They don't need to see everything from one perspective. They should be exposed to several points of view. Now, what do I mean by that? So, picture books or any kind of supplemental reading which goes with the region we are studying about in history or geography basically gives them like gives them an opportunity to look at a culture, look at a place, look at a history of a particular place from many different angles, and it's very beneficial. And it just helps them understand that history is not just looked at from one point of view. History depends on who's narrating, who's telling you the history. So the same region, same situation could mean something else for somebody else, and it could mean something else for let's say you who lives somewhere else. So making them giving them a chance to have to see multiple perspectives of the same situation. Whenever possible, I do that. And also the picture books, many of them are fictional books. They're great for narration exercises. They're great for storytelling. They are great for looking at, like, catching small nuances about a culture or a place. They see the peculiarities of the culture or the region that they are studying, the art forms and the illustrations. Everything just gives you this, opens up this new world to them. Like I have more videos on what we did with which picture books we did for some of these history lessons, and you can check them out, and you will see that in those videos that how the kids catch the small nuances. Now we also pick up ideas from the picture books to do our projects. So many a times our picture books will be like a starting point for us to do some projects, and I'm very flexible with the way I work with all of this. If there was too much planning involved, too much complicated like instructions involved, I wouldn't be able to do it. I just get overwhelmed. So I keep it very flexible. If I like something from the history curriculum, we'll try and do that. If we like something from the picture books, something that they want to do, we will do that. It just totally depends on our situation and what we have available, and what is the time we have at hand. So like we did for Japan, we did actually make a kimono, but we literally made it from like a robe, like an old robe that we have at home, that we had at home. I just saved some stuff, some scraps, and some recycle, things that I recycle, and I keep them in a big chest, and I let the kids pick out things from it and build projects and do whatever they want. So I luckily found this robe, and we just decided to make a kimono with that. So I just try to make it as easy as possible, so that it's not this, there's not too much of planning and too much of hard work involved, and it's easy. Trust me, it's easy to do projects if you don't fuss about it too much and try to streamline it and say that this is the project I'm going to do and this is the only way I can do it. I just try to look for what is my goal with any project. My goal with any project is to give them a deeper experience. My other goal is that I want to get their hands and their bodies moving. So if I can do something at the library, I'll go ahead and do that. Like, for example, when we were doing China, after a month, there was a Chinese New Year festival at one of the libraries here. And I marked it on my calendar. I was like, okay, I don't need to do like so many projects. I can just take them for this event, and that should give them, like, there was going to be like a folk performance or something. So that gives them a perspective, right, on the culture, and it's going to expose them to that, and I can just take them to the library. I just have to drive and show up there. Like the same thing with Japan. Like when we were doing Japan, I could have, like, there was an origami session in one of the other cities' libraries. So like I follow a couple of different libraries, and whenever I can, I just take them and let somebody else take care of the problem. Like I wanted to do weaving for the longest time, and I don't, it's not my thing. So I just took them for a library program. Like you can always use resources around you to do something. You don't have to do everything by yourself. Now for the origami, I like origami, and I had a book, I had bought a book last year or sometime. So I just used that. We just did it at home. So use it based on your situation, what you're comfortable doing at that time, and even take your personality into consideration. If you don't like to do too much projects, you don't like making a big mess in your house, you can always go out, you can always outsource things, you can always make it more of a discussion. Just add some outdoor time, make it interesting. Just find a way to make it happen in a way that is most convenient and easy for you. It doesn't have to be done a specific way. If you keep your goal focused on what skills you're trying to achieve with each of these things, what is the goal, the end goal? The path can be different. We can all get there in different ways. So that's something that really helped me too. Like, look at the whole situation in the larger perspective. So geography, picture books, projects, and then there's a lot of culture study that ends up happening because you're learning about a culture. So for that, like for example, like when we wanted to learn about Korea, I had my neighbor come to my house, and we actually discussed at great length about his culture. Even going to library programs where they do folk performances, and where you get to have the more authentic culture experience, that also comes under culture studies. So you can always, it's just, you have to open up your eyes and look at possibilities and see if you can do it. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't, move on. Look at something else. What else can we do? The other thing I do is I make some food from that region, anything. And this does not have to be authentic food. Like sometimes I'll go out of the way and try to make like an authentic, like we made like monk's soup like a couple of months ago.
So the other thing we did for the unit on China was make Chinese fried rice in a wok, and I served it with chopsticks, which we ate on the presentation night.
We also do a presentation night. We do a presentation night where they present the entire unit to their dad. Now, I don't have a lot of time, so I will not make it a nice looking, fancy looking project and, make it like very impressive. I just, whatever we are doing, we save it in a paper folder, just a manila folder, or just a small binder or something. And then when the whole project is over, I give them one day where they can stick in whatever they want. They can write down whatever they want on we have a lot of material, and I really give them the choice what they want to do, because it saves me a lot of time. And there have been times when we have made, like I will be doing another video where I can share over the years how they have done this differently. So it really varies, but the whole idea of this is not the beauty of the presentation, like the project itself. It's more of their expression. So the skill I'm working on is how to present your thoughts. So I'm less concerned with how pretty the project looks like, but I'm more concerned about how well you're able to put your thoughts in words, how well you're able to recall what you learned, and making sure that the learning cycle is complete, where they have absorbed information, processed it for a few days, and now they have to finally bring it all out in front of someone. So are they able to effectively communicate their thoughts? Are they able to effectively bring out the information that they have taken in? Things like that. So, and then plus even giving them the opportunity to express it the way they like. So when I'm asking them to put it all together, they really have the freedom how they want to arrange it on the paper, how they want to write down the points. And sometimes it looks messy, and that's fine with me. There have also been times when I do a history lesson, and I will give them the encyclopedia, and I will tell them find out more information on this time period from the encyclopedia and share with me. So they will open the encyclopedia and look for the same event in history or same time period in history, and usually they'll photocopy the pages. And this is mostly my older one. My younger one is just following him, and he'll photocopy the important pages or important pictures and just stick it on a file folder, and then he'll come and talk to us about it. And they get so fascinated to see more information on a particular event in history, and that teaches them researching skills, because they have to sit down and go through the encyclopedia to find the same event and then add more information. So I'm more focused on all of that than, because they're young. Maybe when they grow older I can do more stuff. So yeah, I also teach them researching skills by giving them the encyclopedia and letting them take it, take up the researching and information gathering, information presentation, all of that. So these are the different things that I try to cover, and I tie it with the history. Now, I don't like the typical unit study approach, because it tries to unnaturally add in the math, add in all the details and preparing for it, and reading through it and looking at the ideas. It gets too much for me. So I have noticed that personally for me, giving having too much instructions, I find them very restricting, and it also overwhelms me, because I feel like I have to do all of these things, otherwise I'm not doing a good job, or I'm deficient in some ways. But when I start with something and then I creatively add things based on my convenience, then I am on my own. Plus, there's no right way to do it. There's no right or wrong. It's just totally based on convenience. If I have to cook that night and I happen to have the ingredients, I will go the food route. You understand? So it does not always have to be culture study or researching. Oh, I'm totally out of ideas. So what do? You know what? Go take your encyclopedia and do some research on it. Or let's say I happen to have a lot of books at hand, and I really want to do something else, and I want the kids to do their own thing. Guys, go and do some picture study. Not picture study. I mean, go and read some picture books, and come back and narrate to me. So you don't have to be tied to anything. It's not regimented. It's not based on a schedule. It's very flexible. At the same time, I'm covering a lot of different skills and subjects, and this goes year round with all the lessons of history. So then it just helps bring in so much more to the experience, and it helps them retain the information well. It gives them a more wholesome experience. It works out great. So this is how I do it. I hope this has been beneficial.